lived here for a year and a half in 1967 and knew everybody. One of my best friends was a photographer from Australia who was working for Brian Epstein. So for several months we went to all the parties.
So you met the Beatles?
Everybody. You're talking to someone who met Jimi Hendrix.
So I was in the States for 22 years, touring as a magician and as a sound engineer, lighting engineer. Back in '79, myself, Eddie Izzard and Captain Keno helped to establish Covent Garden as a place for busking again. And it's still going strong. My journey into it, film, theatre and TV background, but a magician, I wanted to use my magic skills rather than rely on a 9 to 5.
So what kind of magic do you do?
Close up and full stage.
Has anything ever gone wrong in your long career?
Oh yeah. First time back on the cobbles, just over there, if you turn around, where that lamppost is. That's called Magic Corner, where magicians come and they perform. First time back in Covent Garden, performing on the cobbles after 23 years. First thing I did was I borrowed someone's watch, and their winder flew out. It was broken when they gave it to me, but I ended up having to pay for their watch, and it wasn't a cheap one.
If you look down, we're selling poppies for the Royal British Legion's Day.
Okay, and what's the story behind the outfit?
It's the Pearly Kings and Queens of London. We're the Pearly Kings and Queens Society, and it's been going since 1875. Basically, we collect money throughout the year for the charities we support. So this week, we're actually supporting the Royal British Legion Poppy Appeal, and we normally give them between £4,500, £4,750, but all the money we raise this week goes to the Royal British Legion, obviously, because being an ex-serviceman myself, I want to support them in any way I can.
Did you go to Jimi Hendrix London flat then?
No. We went to Chelsea. Now, I don't know whether he was living there or whether he just happened to be there that afternoon. I had a Swedish friend. She was an amazing woman who knitted or crocheted psychedelic jumpsuits for people like Elizabeth Taylor and anyone you could think of who wanted over-the-top King's Road kind of clothing. And I knew her very well, another long story from Athens and Paris. And she just said, one day I've got to deliver this jumper. And so we went down the street, and I had no idea who I was going to meet. So I was flabbergasted. But we just went into a house. He was there. It was very casual. It was very kind of, this jumper. He paid her, and we said goodbye and left.
Yeah.
And at the time, you took all of that for granted. You didn't think it was going to become part of history. It was just what was happening at the moment.
I served in Northern Ireland, I served in Gibraltar, I served in Libya. When Colonel Gaddafi threw all the Brits out of Libya, they sent us there to get all the married quarters out and leave North Africa and Libya. Wherever you go in the world, if you see the Union Jack flying, then you know you're in a safe area.
Have there been conflicts in your time that you feel weren't for a good cause?
I don't think we should have regime changes. I don't think we should interfere in other people's countries because they chose the decision who they want. I mean, we know all over the world there's still tyrants about, but it's not in our position to change it. Because
in some cases, the presence of a British flag could mean fear for some people.
No, that's a bit of a. I think that's a bit of a fallacy in one way or other, because the point is, a lot of people say, I mean, I've been called in the past baby killer, which I'm not. I'd rather protect you standing here, having your right, freedom, your democracy to do what you're doing today. Somebody comes and picks on you while I'm talking to you, they're picking on me as well. And I think that we're very tolerant, let's put it that way. The British people, the English people, British people are very tolerant in this world.
Well, I'm like a journalist, I'm just traveling, snooping around to see and to hear what's going on.
What brings you the most happiness in your life?
I just had it on the tip of my tongue just now. Learning how to cope and how to really figure myself out. You've been given a name, so really, you go by that name and people see you as that name, but it might not be yourself, it might be someone else.
Well, look, how old was I? 23, 24? I was just part of the crowd, and it made an impression. But the city was quite different from the way it is now. You could walk everywhere, and if you were interested in music and the arts, everyone knew you. You kind of, if you hung around for 3 or 4 months, you got to know everybody anyway. Now it's much more structured and much more formal.
I mean, I'm a huge Beatles fan for a start, and lots of the music from that era, but can you tell us a little bit about what that scene was like in those days in London?
Well, my friend told me never to drink the punch, because you never knew what was in it. And no, it was very informal. I mean, I lived in Little Venice because it was cheap. I had a room with a view of the canal for £5 a week. And I used to walk across to Chelsea. The shops were all different. There were no designer labels in the sense that we have them now. You just explored. You met people, you found people. It was a very open city. It was briefly very open.
How would you say the busking industry around here has changed?
It's changed tremendously. I won't disclose how much we used to get back in the 70s and 80s, but nowadays it's at least a tenth for the same 40 minutes of hard work.
Can I ask, aside from your work, what makes you happy?
What makes me happy? Thinking about my wife and kids back in the US, missing them a lot, but that keeps me going. What else keeps me? Seeing talented street performers. You go down to Leicester Square right now, you'll find a talented tap guitarist on a Monday, which is usually the buskers' holiday. He had a crowd of about 200 people around him about 10 minutes ago.
Do you think this is a good time for Britain?
I'm not sure whether you're leading me down the road of Brexit or not, because I really think that we've made our choice. My old mum used to say, "You've made your bed, you lie in it." We democratically voted, and I tell my son, when people don't vote, I find it very sad. I mean, I don't know if you vote, but I find it very sad that if you go to any country in the world and look at some of the graveyards, there's a lot of our soldiers and airmen and sailors and women who lost their life for democracy in this country, and they fought that fight so you, as a young lad, can have that vote. And when you don't use that vote, I find it very sad.
Can I ask what your line of work has been?
I've been involved with contemporary art all my life.
As a dealer or an artist?
As a negotiator.
What would be if you could give a piece of advice to a young person that was trying to make it as an artist in any medium?
Go to Africa.
Why is that?
Because it's beyond the reach of the global economy, and it's a part of the world that has always been fertile and fascinating and amazing and extraordinary. Get away from all the major global centres. Just leave. Just in order to grow as a person and understand that it's not about London and New York and Paris.
Can you think of one event in your life that's brought you the most happiness?
Oh, getting married to my ex-wife-to-be in 1995. She was my second wife. But yeah, most amazing woman that I've ever met, total soulmate, and brought me happiness then. It still brings me happiness today, even though we're separated after 22 years.
You're still friends?
We're working on it.
Can I ask what makes you happy?
Old age.
Most people would say that makes them unhappy.
Not at all. Not at all. No.
Why is that?
I just seem to be enjoying myself more than I ever have in my entire life.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life.